It's all coming back. And speaking of coming back, we are going to be kicking off this series now on 2000 Atmospheres. LE, we're in the top right-hand corner of the map, spinning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have a red Terran god, according to his opponent here, coming out from the land of Taiwan. He, of course, is going to be representing Clan Rush. He is Naxin.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Taiwanese Terran player himself representing Naive Dream World. It is AresRush.
The Rush Civil War.
Or
the Rush Bowl.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not on the same team. I don't.
They shouldn't be.
Oh god.
I mean, there are some teams out there who, you know, they do allow their players to also be part of community clans, just as long as they don't, you know, just as long as you're not making money from those clans, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a similar thing with Naive Dream World, but who knows? Who knows?
Exactly. Only they know. If you know in the chat, let us know. Oh god. But regardless, this is what we have been kind of warming up for. Or at least I hope Ares has been warming up himself. You know, he did have a TvT just previously, and he did win it pretty convincingly. But now he's up against a much higher tier opponent.
Oh yeah, he himself admits it here. Naxin God, as he calls him.
Oh god, he's pretty goddamn good. Definitely, you know, now a big titan in the scene, or at least in the qualifiers. But we'll see again, because Ares was able to warm up. Naxin, this is still only his first series of the qualifier.
Yeah, he's almost like a gatekeeper in the qualifiers, so to speak, right? If you want to make it to the closed qualifiers, or even the main event, you have to prove that you can beat Naxin.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to give a bit of a shout out to Thorn. I almost said 69.
That always happens when
969. Nice. Letting us know that Naxin did make it to the main event, but it was in 2020, so a couple of years ago now. It's something that he's been there before, but just not recently.
Yeah. Man, it's been a long time. Was it like 4 or 5 years? It's been a while.
Yaku, please. Oh god. So yeah, we'll see if he can get there again. Meanwhile, he tries to get into main base, but Ares does block it off there with the depot.
Yeah, and forces these Reapers to get a little bit closer to the Reapers and Hellion of Ares. He didn't even chase this down if he wants to, and he doesn't. But he was tempted for a little while.
Yeah, great start here by Ares. Naxin, he was denied entry into the main base. He didn't really get to scout too much. Sorry, looking at his vision, he did see the 1-1-1. So at least he was able to see that before he was forced out.
Yeah, a little bit of information just to keep him going. He should know that this is going to be a pretty standard TvT coming up here, but yeah, as I said, usually when I watch Naxin in a TvT, I'm just waiting for how he'll deviate, and this is how for this game.
Oh yeah, going for a very fast medevac. So again, he wants to be the aggressor. Usually, that is kind of his MO here. I was curious if he was going to try and pump out a tank as well, but no, I guess it's just going to be a straight-up Cyclone drop.
Yeah, honestly not that common nowadays in TvT, but I mean, it is Naxin that we're talking about, and it does have potential to do quite a bit. 2 Cyclones, you know, might not be super SCV killers, although they can be, but what they're very good at is sniping out key tech, right? Being able to get key production burning, maybe even deny some gas.
Maybe even snipe the Raven. The Raven is about to pop out. Like, depending on when he dives in, like, sniping a high-tech structure like that could be key, but instead he does use his lock-on the depot. He will get the depot, but the opportunity of maybe sneaking in and getting a high-tech unit isn't quite there anymore.
Yeah, playing it a lot more safe this time, and he actually does bait the units of Ares out here as he dips behind the mineral line and gets a couple of SCVs.
Yeah, not bad at all. 2 SCVs already going down, 3 as well, and there's no real consistent anti-air here, so he's able to escape because the Cyclones were out of position.
Yeah, and 3 SCVs in the supply depot, you do not want to underestimate the impact that losing this has this early on in the TvT. You know, Ares, he has to be a little bit more careful not to get supply block now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is like a scary squad of Cyclones, and he dives on top of one of the Cyclones with good enough micro, he can even save one of them. Oh, saves both.
The micro was more than good enough in this case, and Naxin, he has struck a little bit of fear into the heart of Ars right now. Naxin getting his third base on location, because he knows he has that map control. Ars, very, very careful.
Yeah, exactly, and he does fly a little bit too close to the sun there, got a little bit too greedy, so we'll lose one of those Cyclones, but you can argue, hey, it was worth it, because he was able to snipe a Cyclone earlier, he was able to get some SCVs, got the depot, like, that was some nice early damage.
Yeah, very good early damage, which will also impact the push coming up here. You know, not having that additional Cyclone is actually a pretty big deal. One Cyclone is going to do much against 2 tanks. 2 Cyclones? Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see as Naxin is on the way. Behind this, he's getting a third base on location. It's about to finish up. Scan will miss this, by the way, but does confirm that the production is maybe looking a little bit late, and there is no third CC in the main base. Naxin rocks up, looking for a third. None here, not yet.
Yeah, trying to find an opportunity to see if there's anything that these tanks can get. Raven will dip it a little bit. He's hedging his odds right now, thinking, can I throw down the auto turrets? Is it worth it to throw down the auto turrets? And he decides, no, not quite. I am just going to play it safe once again.
Yeah, and yo, he gets a reactor as well. Nice pickup. Oh, we do have a lock on one of these Ravens.
No.
Up!
Yeah, Naxin, once again up close, he will be able to throw on the auto turrets and get a disable off, but not without losing one of his Ravens. Absolute chaos is going on right now, but I think Ares has the advantage with that 1 siege tank.
Mate.
Did have the advantage, but did also lose a hell of a lot.
Oh my god, the medevac Michael was insane. It was so ballsy as well because Ares did have that air superiority, so it was so risky to go for it. But in the end, Naxin, I don't believe he loses a single tank. No, he doesn't lose a single tank, keeps them all alive, and will keep his opponent contained.
This is what I miss about Taiwan Light. Just how explosive these Terran players can get.
Yeah.
The Terran players, the Zerg players, the Protoss players, unfortunately, they're waiting at the main event itself. Yeah, they're too good.
Oh god, but here we go, just like that. Ares, he can't even land his third CC. We see some turrets being thrown down. I love it, just in case the Vikings feel like landing on the tanks themselves or even pushing out further. Ooh, but Ares does shoot first.
Yeah, and with that, Naxin is going to lose half of his tank line.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. In the blink of an eye, 3 tanks go down. Naxin had a massive advantage, but took a little bit too long and was a little bit careless with his positioning.
Like so! One tank. I was really worried for that one tank when the Liberator rocked up, but he is able to keep it alive. Naxin will have to give up this position, though. He's not canceling these buildings, so it's a lot of unnecessarily lost minerals.
Yeah, but at the same time, we do have a drop here. Is there a world where he gets the CC? It's getting pretty low. We don't see it lifted up. Oh my god!
He finished them quite some time ago. It's not burning, though. Naxin just wants to secure a little bit of air superiority, so he goes for the Vikings instead.
Oh god. He is able to snipe one of them almost. Oh, he gets a second! He gets a third!
Wow.
Oh
we'll
my.
lose that medevac eventually, but the important thing is those Marines are still alive, and Naxin is building a 4th on location.
Exactly. You could argue that Naxin has been a little bit careless with his army control, and he has. He's lost a lot of tanks. But
I
at the
was
same
gonna say, I'd make that argument.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has a 3rd base, so you could argue he can kind of afford this. Like, he can still overwhelm his opponent.
I would also make that argument as he rocks right on top of this one tank. A perfect concave coming down. The Vikings are being taken out by the Marines from the ground. All of a sudden, Naxin has the air superiority, but there is no way he can push up this ramp, right?
Yeah, there's no way, but he also agrees. He goes for a drop instead. The boys are being pulled. Question mark. Drop does get into the main base. The tanks are completely out of position. They're trying to rotate around. There is going to be one tank here in the main base, but is it going to be enough?
Well, with how stimmed these Marines are, it looks like it's going to be barely enough to keep them at bay. These Marines still trying to find some damage. By the way, we didn't really mention this,
Yeah, mech.
but Ares is going for mech here.
Yeah, it only just registered here because Hellions were coming out, and I was thinking in the back of my mind, Hellions? But yeah, it does make sense. Meanwhile, Ares forced to expand here at the linear third location, does rotate around with his bases. But again, like Ares, despite being down in economy, 6th base on the... What is that? He's double expanding, puppy! Whoa, my god.
Well, he always knew he had the map control, but now that he sees that it's mech, this confirms it in his mind. There's absolutely no way that Ares can contest any of these bases, so Naxin's just making the most of it.
Yeah, he is. Meanwhile, he just threw away another triple drop here, but all 3 tanks go down. But, like, he's still ahead. That's the crazy thing. Like, he just has so much money right now. Props to Ares, because I think we both agree that he has had superior positioning this entire game, but he just hasn't been able to get a third up and running. He just doesn't have an economy.
Yeah, he's had superior positioning when his units were in position.
Yeah.
But when they're not, then he's losing his bases, he's losing his SCVs.
Oh my god.
Just like so, it's really unfortunate that Ares decided this is the game that I'm going to go mech on, because he is never going to get an economy to sustain a mech army.
Exactly. He will have 4 gases and only 4 gases. The Marines stim on 4. They do trade out, get another tank in the retreat. And do we have a 4th CC? We do at least have a 4th that's going to be landed here as a 3rd. But that worker count, Naxin, he just hasn't stopped. Is this TY? He just hasn't stopped producing workers.
Yeah, we thought he was in the military, but apparently he's in Taiwan.
He dodged the military, he went to Taiwan, mate. Oh my god. Ay. Meanwhile, Ares is trying to rotate around once again, and again, like, he's usually always here on time here with his tanks. But at a certain point, like, Naxin, he's just rallying everything he has across the map.
Is that a fresh base of Ares, or did he float the main to the 3rd base location?
Okay, it's fresh base.
It is okay. Yeah, he has a lot of orbitals.
Mate, Naxin, he's bleeding over into Ares' half of the map, mate. he's just taking everything.
So aggressively expanding. He can't even saturate all of these bases.
God. But he's gonna have mules for days, mate. Who cares about planetaries?
Ooh, all right, all these Vikings going down. Unfortunately, before the fight even begins, the tanks are doing a pretty good job of taking out some Marines, but yeah, because there are no buffer for these tanks anymore, Naxin just rocks on up, takes out the tanks, takes out the base. 1 Liberator coming in trying to see if it can do anything. Not a whole lot is the answer.
I now know why Ares calls Naxin a god, mate, because he just has everything he needs. GG gets called, Naxin takes game number 1. Oh my god.
I'm not even sure I want to look at that worker graph here, like. Look at it anyway. Surprisingly, you know, Ares didn't lose that much. It's just that he was never really able to build that much.
Yeah, he just never, he only ever had a 3rd base up for a couple of seconds at a time. He just never got to comfortably take it. You pointed it out as well, he never got to take his gases. Like, and when you're going for a mech army, that's what you need desperately.
Yeah, very well played here for Naxin. I mean, we were hyping him up quite a bit even before the start of this bracket. I was very excited to see that, you know, most likely we were going to be able to cast this guy. But then at the start of the game when Ares called Naxin a god, I was like, okay, that's a little too far. Apparently not. Apparently not. He had 428 APM that game, and it absolutely shows how he was playing.
Crazy, mate. Crazy. I like how some people are saying Naxin Zerg in the chat. Like, I can see that. Like, he's playing this like a Zerg player. He just keep, like, every fight, every couple of minutes, he just double expands, triple expands, quadruple expands. Let's go. And he could afford to do it because the entire game, Ares, he never got to move out across the map. He was stuck at home the entire time.
Yep. So well contained. I mean, this is pretty much a textbook. This is pretty much a textbook guide of how to play against mech as a bio player. Contain, expand. And look at that, he also has the Carbot Ling as his portrait, so it makes sense, I suppose. Alright, and we are going to be continuing this series on a Hotwire LE. Does seem to be the 2 popular maps for the players tonight. In the top right-hand corner of the map, running all the way in the top right-hand corner of Hotwire, we of course have our red Terran god, apparently. Gonna be coming down from the land of Taiwan. He is, of course, representing Clan Rush. We have Naxin.
Oh, let's go! Because spawning in the bottom left-hand corner and also looking to go for some proxy Raxes, we have the Taiwanese Terran player himself currently down in this series, but not for long. Representing Team Naive Dream World, it is AresRush. AresRush?
Living at Ars? Ars?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna call him Ares, okay? It's just my brain is wired that way. I apologize.
You do speak Espanol, so
Espanol, sí.
that's how it's pronounced. Sí.
Yeah, hey mate, we're going to Valencia, okay? We gotta embrace it.
I gotta smuggle myself in somebody's luggage.
Oh my mate, if we, I mean, we are gonna be being the B stream for a bunch of the DreamHack days.
Yeah, boy, does that include the open bracket? Now that I think about it.
Oh, it's too early for that. Too early to confirm for that. Maybe. But maybe we should get maybe we should cosplay a little bit or get that Latin feeling going. I don't know. See.
Get my tapas ready.
Fun fact: people from Spain are not Latin, but they're not Latinos at all. That's the other place.
They're romance.
Sure. There you go. But here we go. We do have a double proxy Reaper Rax. Gases have been taken at home, both of them. So this will mean like a transition into a factory is a lot more possible. But oh my god, he's actually backing up these Reapers.
Yeah, pretty smart way of doing it. IMO, you don't want to be revealing your hand a little too early.
Oh!
Hotwire, of course, is a pretty massive cliff, and Naxin sees this now. The factory is finishing up. Couple of Hellions is exactly what he needs. He will finish the factory.
Yeah, it was so close to being delayed. Meanwhile, Naxin barely keeps his own Reaper alive. The SCVs doing an amazing job at zoning away these Reapers, and surprisingly, not too many SCVs have gone down.
Yeah, honestly, pretty good hurting here from Naxin.
Zero.
Continue to pull the SCVs. Really? I thought for a sec maybe we forgot Game Heart, but yeah, no, it's just because he lost 0 SCVs trying to bait these Reapers a little bit. One SCV will finally go down, but now Naxin has his Hellion out. He has 2 Reapers, and he's positioning this so well.
God.
Only now losing the Hellion, and just like that, Naxin calls, or Ares calls it, GG. Naxin is going to be your first player in a qualifying match. I thought the god would bleed light, but not this time.
I am shocked. I am shocked by the control there by Naxin. That was insane how little he was losing. A lot of that was because he was actually repairing quite aggressively with his SCVs, keeping each other alive as well, which you don't see too often either. That was brutal, mate. My god.
It really was. Again, that was just shut down so incredibly well. Positioning of those Reapers as well, the micro to make sure that he didn't lose any of them unnecessarily. He's fine with losing SCVs, mind you. He's fine with losing SCVs this early on because he knows that he's ahead. He didn't even lose that many SCVs. He lost 1 in that entire game.
Oh my god.
1 SCV and 1 Hellion went down by the end of that, and I think that was it.
That was very impressive. Very impressive. GG, well played to Naxin. Something that I probably should have mentioned earlier as well is that I have heard a lot about Naxin actually getting really good, and I haven't just heard it, we've seen it. We have been casting Sparkling Tuna Cup recently, and I remember casting Naxin in a TvP up against Geralt, you know, a pretty solid European Protoss player, and he looked fire, mate. Like, it's great to see him really popping off here, more than we have seen him pop off in a while.
Yeah, honestly, Light, I just refreshed the bracket, and this isn't something that I thought would happen to me coming in today. I'm a little bit worried for Beastork now.
Yeah? I am too. I don't think it's going to be as clear-cut. I think for a long time, the Hong Kong players have kind of been a little bit of a cut above the rest. Like Gurgajoy and Beastork kind of, you know, in a league of their own sometimes. Outside, of course, like your Rex, your Nice, your Haz. But but Naxin is getting good, mate. And
Oh yeah.
regardless, this should not be a 3-0. Like even Naxin's way, like
yeah.
I think we got a series, mate.
We do. I think we got a Sparkling Tuna Cup Finals. Is what we have here for our qualifying match. And yep, we have confirmation. We do have both of our qualifying matches here. As a reminder, they will be best of 5s. We are going to be covering Naxin versus Beastork over at twitch.tv/RenegadeX Studios. Renegade is going to be covering Yoga versus Eternity.